So this is part two of the same thing where I'm just leaving off where we did before. I'm sorry, I'm just taking up where I left off before, where we had everybody sorted. The thing that I want to do now is to show you how to use stat plus, which is right here, to prove to me that these worm piles are equal. So here's how we're going to do that. Again, I'm just going to copy my 3 columns. I'm going to make a new sheet. It's always a good idea to make a new sheet and to save so that if you mess something up, you can always go back. You don't have to cry when you mess things up. And what we're going to do to use Stat Plus is we have to set up the data in a very particular way, but it's actually a very intuitive way to set this up. So what I've done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pile of data for tank 1, a pile of data for tank 2, a pile of data for tank 3, a pile of data for tank 4, for all 9 tanks. So this takes a minute, but I'm going to show you a couple of shortcuts. All right, so what I've done is I've gone over here. Let me just start over. So I'm just going to put, so this is tank 2 right here. I'm just going to grab everything that belongs in all of the tanks. I'm going to go, I'm going to press Shift, Command, down arrow, and it collects all of the data. I'm going to copy, that's Command C. I'm going to cut, Command X, and I'm going to put it right there with Command V. Okay, so that's tank 2. And then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to just use my, so if I put my cursor there, I hold down Shift and my right arrow, I can grab everything. And then if I hold Shift, Command, down arrow, I can grab all of my data. Command C, I can copy it. Command X means I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to put it right here, so Command V. Again, I'm just going to go over here to 4. I'm going to hold down I'm putting my cursor there, holding the Shift key, arrow, arrow. I'm going to hold down the Command key and the down arrow, copy, Apple C, cut, Apple X, over here, Apple V. Okay, you can see I've made 4. Okay, I'm doing the same thing over here. I've put my cursor there, Shift, arrow, arrow, hold down the Command key, down arrow, Apple C for copy, Apple X for cut, put it right there, Apple V for paste. Okay, we've got 5 columns. I wish I hadn't made so many goddamn tanks. Okay, doing the same thing, copy, cut, gotta put that there. Oh, didn't need to do that. Nothing good with the NASDAQ, that's for sure. Okay, 7. So I'm sure that if you're doing this for the first time in your young lives, some of you have done this and forgot to use the cut. Okay, you're going to want to go back and cut that data. You don't want extra columns or extra rows or extra anything. This has to be right. Okay, we're almost done here. All right, so now I have to go and label things. So what we want is we really want to just compare the worm weights, right? We can eyeball it and see that the worm numbers are the same, right? Because these all end at 47, so we're all in the right place here. But what we really want to know is if the worm weight here is the same as the worm weight here, which is the same as the worm weight here, which is the same as worm weight here. And you guys might be, why did she leave this row blank? Here's why. Because this is worm weight 1, it looks like World War 1. It's not. Worm weight 2, worm weight 3, worm weight 4, worm weight 5, worm weight 6, worm weight 7, worm weight 8, and worm weight 9. Now, maybe you're asking yourself, why do I have worm number and tank number over here? I only left it in because it's easy. We're not going to use any of these numbers to prove to do the statistic. But now our data set is set up to do the statistic. Okay, so we are in Excel. You can tell because it says Excel. Now we're going to click on Stat Plus. Okay, it's going to launch. Hopefully at this point you downloaded Stat Plus onto your computer. It works for both Macs and Windows. All right, so now, even though it looks like we're still in Excel, if you look up here, we're in Stat Plus. Okay, we're going to go to Statistics, and we're going to do Analysis of Variance, and we're going to do One-Way ANOVA Unstacked. Okay, and then we're going to pick the data we want to compare. So it's worm weight 1, worm weight 2, worm weight 3, worm weight 4, worm weight 5, worm weight 6, worm weight 7, worm weight 8, worm weight 9. Okay, and then you can see labels in first row, yes. Post hoc comparisons, yes. Post hoc means after the fact. And show descriptive statistics, yes. Okay, I'm going to click OK. And it's going to pop this up. So here we've got, here's our answer. Law. It's like magic. Okay, so here's our worm weights 1 through 9. Sample size 46 and everything. Some, I don't really care about that. The average, you can eyeball these, 0.04, 0.04, 0.04. Okay, great. Our variance is identical. All right, so remember we were trying to set up 9 tanks with the equal number of worms and equal weight and mean variance, okay? So we can see that we did that. So whenever you do a statistic, there are a couple of things you always want to pay attention to. First is the p-value, and p-values range, look up here. I've clicked here and it looks like 1, but look over here. P-values range from 0.000000001 to this. That's about as high as you get, which is almost 1. So your p-value, if it's less than 0.05, it means you've got a significant difference someplace. And if it's the closer it is to 1, the more identical your data is. So in this particular case, we were looking for identical data. We were trying to set up identical data. Our p-value says that it is. Okay, you also want to pay attention to your f-test. That's this number right here. Even though it doesn't say f-test, that's what it is. And your df, which is your degrees of freedom right here. So this tells you the between groups and within groups. If you add 8 and 405, you will get 4, and then add 1 too. I know it's like magic. You got to keep adding. But these numbers here relate to your sample size. So 8 plus 1 gives you the number of groups, right? And don't ask me for plus 1. Go take your stats class, but it's always true. And then within groups is going to be the 8 groups with the total number of individuals. So anyway, why do we care about degrees of freedom? Because it tells you what you set up and how many and what your sample size was like. All right, so now you can do it. Now you know how to sort your data, and now you know how to use an ANOVA to see if your data is all the same. Yay! Yay you! Go try it with the data that I put up on Blackboard. I believe in you. And go ahead and post your answers in the wikis. So you can just copy this. Like for instance, you can use your screen capture, take a screenshot. You could copy, you can make a screenshot, and then go ahead and paste the screenshot into your wiki. All right? Can't wait to see what you guys are doing.